Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where unfortunately I have to start with some bad news today. And that bad news is that it is finally bothering me. I have noticed many times this, but I don't think I've ever mentioned it. And I'm sorry if I'm about to ruin your experience of the Stellaris pause icon, but down over here, there's a 1 pixel transparency issue. You can see it right here, and it's a little dimmer over this way. And then it's mirrored on this side. Presumably this is just half of this and then it's mirrored over. But yeah, there's a 1 pixel transparency issue there. I have noticed this many times. It's really bothering me today. Okay, moving on. I'm going to sell off some minerals because we're full on those. But we are currently... Hang on. Why is escape not closing that? Doesn't escape normally close that? That's interesting. Spacebar is working. Hotkey is escape. Okay. Well, I guess escape is broken for right now. That's interesting. I'm actually going to try restarting the game. I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Restarting the game did not fix it. However, I googled it, and apparently hitting they referred to it as the Windows key, but I'm on Linux, so it's the super key, fixes it, which is true. I hit the super key, and it works now. I have no idea why that happened. I tried pressing it again just now to see if it's a toggle of some sort. It's not. But I guess lesson learned. I've never run into that in all of my time playing Stellaris. Well, we're going to sell off some of these minerals again because I didn't save the game when I restarted. And we are full on astral threads. We can grab a physics insight and an astral boost to spend some of that. But currently, we're working towards building our Galactic crucible. The endgame crisis has happened. It was incredibly underwhelming. It got taken care of very quickly. And now we need to become the endgame crisis. But we can't get started on that for another 160 days. To that end, of course, we're going to be working on getting all of our defenses up and online. That is going to be vitally important. And we also need to do things like building additional habitation modules here. And we can build 1 for the time being. That seems okay. So then I want to come down over here, and we can see that this would need to be changed over, but that's a low priority at this point. What we want to do right now is we want to get ancient ramparts going in here, and I have no idea how many minor artifacts we have right now. Apparently quite a few. So we were able to queue all of those up. Are we able to queue up all of these as well? No. Okay, we got 2 of them anyway, so that's not bad. We got the treasure recovered. Okay, seems good. I'd like to get a bunch of minor artifacts, but unfortunately, we never got the rubricator. So that is a little sad. But for now, we'll just continue to work on building up these ancient ramparts. And of course, the remainder of our alloys, for the time being, is going into our fleets. Like so. So we'll have that finish up, and there's kinetic batteries done. With kinetic batteries done, that's a pretty big deal. I want to take quantum missiles next. So we can hop into our ship designer. And can we alter battleships? This design already exists, so yes, we can. I want to swap these railguns out for kinetic batteries, because 24.88 versus 31.46. 100% shield damage, so twice as much against shields, and the same penalty against armor, while also having a longer range. The same minimum range, but a longer maximum range. The kinetic battery is just better. So we're going to put that in, and that will be fine. Do we want to put a kinetic battery on any other ship types? Probably not at this time. Yeah, no. We're going to want to upgrade our antimatter missiles here once we finish up our current research, but that is absolutely fine. So now we're going to need to get our battleships upgrading, which of course means we want to come over here, and it's going to take a little while to get that done. It's also upgrading some of our other... Oh, right. This is going to downgrade us from minor artifacts. Is that okay? Would we get the minor artifacts back as this happens? Or do we want to just leave these as they are and just build new replacements as we get them? Or as we need them? That is definitely a possibility. I want to see if we get a refund on the minor artifacts. If we do, this might actually be worthwhile doing. So we might. I seem to remember that happening in the past. So let's be in here and keep an eye on our minor artifacts as we work through this. So we're 81. Now we're at 118. That was a month tick. And we can see that we're currently working on doing some upgrades. I want to hop down here and look at what specifically is being upgraded. Okay, so these are getting upgraded. And we don't appear to be getting the minor artifacts back, are we? We're at 118. No, we're not getting them back. Just to have unified ship types, I'm going to do it. I'm not happy about it, but I'm going to do it. But I do want to have unified ship types. So we'll do that. It's unfortunate. But I feel like at this point it's worth doing to get the kinematic batteries on. And we'll have other upgrades that we do over the next little while, because it's going to be a little while before we really start to take off as a crisis. So I do want this ship here, this construction ship, to start heading up towards, like, Flames Kindle. I think we're going to want to build this in our capital, if we can. So if we were to build a mega structure here, due to cannot build in systems with existing colonies. Okay, so it would need to be in, like, Lucis, perhaps? And we could definitely think about that. Can we build it around a black hole? No. It needs to be a regular star without an existing colony, so a Skeleton. Yes, this is a location that we're eligible to build this in. Okay, we'll head up there and be ready to do that, because we just finished up our quantum catapult twin arrays, and I don't think... Oh, we can upgrade this again, but we need the mega engineering technology to do it, and it's going to take a long time. So that's fine. I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, so we are going to be finishing up these terraformations eventually. I don't think that's going to be a this episode sort of thing. We'll see, but my current assumption is that that would be starting next episode. So there's fleet command limit plus 50. Ancient target scramblers, huh? We might not be going for that anytime soon. It is a rare tech, though. Where do we see our Deep Space Citadel system capacity, I wonder? I'm not sure where that might be. We could go for that. I mean, it's worth a try. And then we can see about continuing to work over here in Hamkad. So we need to head here and build more ancient ramparts over this way. We need to get these done as soon as possible. And down over this way, we need to get another set of ancient ramparts going in. We're lacking the minor artifacts to get this maxed out. I mean, we're going to need to get a lot of defense platforms as well. But that is going to take time. And that's all there is to it. It's going to take a while. So on this month tick, we can get this starbase maxed out with the ancient ramparts. No, we can't. We're lacking 2. Never mind. We're very close, but we can't quite get it maxed out. We're getting there. I want to see if any of these ships that are back over here need to be upgraded again. And currently it's not saying that they do, but we're still in the process of upgrading. So that's understood. I want to definitely grab particle lances. That's fine. And then we can grab like tachyon lances. I'm not too concerned about it, but we'll get that done for now. I do want to continue to reinforce here. There we go. We only need about 13,000 additional alloys. Hang on, a research agreement with whom? Molarnock Transstellar? Yes, please. Okay, that's fantastic. So that seems great, and we can, of course, bump up the size of these fleets, which I'm certainly interested in doing. So we can get up to 390. I'm thinking we take this to 10 and then 20, which means that we'd want this to be at about 40, and then these would be theoretically at 80 each, but I don't think we can quite fit that. We can fit 75 each. Good enough. So that's absolutely fine, and we will continue to do that. So we'll take that up to 20 and 10. Excellent. So, of course, that means this is going to take even longer to get fully reinforced. 40,000 alloys at this point, and that is understood. We're also going to need more naval capacity, and this is deeply unsurprising. Deeply, deeply unsurprising. So that seems fine for the moment. Now, we are full once again on minerals. We'll sell some of those. And Lesson Prime Station over here, we can start to work on getting habitation modules put in. This is also a location where we can build a building. And this is a heavy industry world. So we certainly do want to put in an alloy processing facility, and I'm going to make that be the priority here. So we're going to move that up to the top. Excellent. So that looks great, and then down over here we should now be able to get our last ancient rampart on Helos. Perfect. And how much is it going to cost us to start building that Galactic crucible frame? Because we should be able to do that now. 2,500 alloys? Okay, we'll have enough to do that on the month tick. So let's go ahead and do so. So we'll figure out how exactly this Galactic crucible ends up working, but that seems definitely interesting. Are we considered a crisis aspirant at this point? I know we could see that if we swapped to another empire and then looked at our diplomatic view from there. It would say crisis aspirant, like right here. And how can we see that view for ourselves? I'm not sure if we're classified as a crisis aspirant yet or not. We might be. I'm going to tag over and find out. Okay, so let's go to debug tooltips. I'm not going to change anything here. So I'm just going to do tag 8, and we're going to look at ourselves from their point of view. They're full on everything. Okay, that's exciting. Yeah, we're not shown at this point as being a crisis aspirant. Okay, that's interesting. Well, we're going to tag back, tag 0, and turn debug tooltips back off. I just was curious to know if the AI had classified us as a crisis aspirant yet or not. We might have to finish our Galactic Crucible first for that. So we do want to continue to work on Ancient Ramparts, and I'm going to spread these out here because I want to have these be building simultaneously at this time. So I'm going to be finishing these up like so. We're just going to be going back and forth between them. I want to keep them constructing simultaneously because we're kind of on the clock at this point. We know that this is going to be finished fairly soon. It's 4% done already. So that's definitely a little bit spicy. Display of power is good. And what do we want to go for after that? Military buildup again, if we can? We can't do that. Impenetrable border, though. That seems good. We'll start working on that. Okay, so that is all wonderful. I do want to get an additional ancient rampart going in up here as soon as possible. From here, we can probably just build these out, and we are getting, what was it, 36? 40 now. 40 minor artifacts. Okay. 40 minor artifacts per month. That means we can almost make one of these per month. Not quite, but very, very close. So that seems good, and next up, I want to come back up over here because we are going to do the habitation module here as well. So that's Lesson Prime, good to go, and next up, we can grab a Harmony trait. So that's going to be Governing Ethics Attraction and Crime Reduction. Seems great. Not that we have that big of a crime issue, but it's fine. So we're going to get our Crucible completed eventually. And that's definitely noted. This station, we are going to want to get those changed over, but that's going to take time. So down over this direction, I want to continue to put in some ancient ramparts here. Like I said, now that these are constructing, I'm okay with building this a little bit lopsided. We should have enough time to do so. We're full on trade, and I'm going to put that into alloys for now, although I do expect a pivot from alloys fairly soon. Although I don't remember exactly how that works. It's been a long time since I played as a Crisis. A very long time. And there's likely been changes, so who knows what it's going to look like. Well, maybe you guys do, but I certainly do not. So we're going to build an ancient rampart here, and then on the next month tick, we can get another ancient rampart going in on Ambesia, which is perfect.
Construction complete.
So this starbase is finished up. That's great. We're absolutely wonderful, or absolutely fine with that. That's a very, very good thing indeed. So that's all looking good. We do have an astral rift down over here, and I don't think... Oh, we don't have a scientist here. We can put this guy in, and we can go and... We can't work on this astral rift? What do you mean we can't work on this astral rift? Oh, right, because this is a member of our council. We need a non-council member to work on our astral rifts. There we go. Where did this wormhole go? Okay, yeah, that's about where I expected that to be. I don't think we have any other wormholes that we need to explore, so it's just this one. And we do have this gateway in Caravan, which means we can respawn from Jurup very quickly. So that is convenient for us. And we've got this defensive station here that's broadly good to go. It's not, you know, perfect, but it's close enough. So next up, we're going to get another ancient rampart here on the month tick. There we go. And we're also going to come up over this direction, and we're going to queue up a habitation module here. Now, we have an empty building slot here, and what do we want to put here? Well, this is a fortress world. Do we have anything that boosts up our soldiering jobs? I don't think we do. We could certainly put in a nebula refinery. That's not a terrible option. The other option would be like a giga mall. We could do that with the second slot. For now, I'm going to put in the nebula refinery. So that seems good for the moment. We're full on food. Let's sell some of that off. And minerals. Let's sell some of that off. Perfect. And we're definitely seeing our consumer goods dipping here. This is expected. I'm not surprised about that in the slightest. Let's hop on down to Valonis Station here, and we're going to continue to work on these ancient ramparts. Actually, we don't have enough. So in that case, I'm going to continue to reinforce our fleets. There we go. We need about 30,000 more alloys to get that done. Now, while we're waiting on resources to flow in, I'm going to go through and look at our jobs real quick here. Earl Prime is getting there in terms of job count, but we have 2 city districts going in, and this is not going to get much better. So that's basically as good as it gets. Quantum missiles are done. That's fantastic. And we can certainly go for something like defense platform hull points, since we are planning on building defense platforms fairly soon. Going through the rest of this, let's see what we've got going on here. We are going to need to upgrade our missile frigates, and we'll get to that soon enough. But this is all looking fine. This mining world, I'm going to go ahead and build a seismic tunneling yard. I'm going to upgrade all of these buildings over here for now. That'll be fine. And what else do we have? This factory world here, we can definitely upgrade over here. But we can also make the argument that all of this should get upgraded. We could also build city districts, which is probably more efficient, but we're going to want these built at some point anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. This should absolutely have a cyto-revitalization center upgrade. What else do we have going on over here? This is also a cyto-revitalization center upgrade that we should put in. That looks decent. What else do we have? Well, that is all fine for the moment. Okay, so the strategic readiness fleet here, this needs to get upgraded, and that's going to be our frigates. So let's take a look at our frigates and make sure that those are correct. They should be. They are. This didn't update. Okay, they are correct. Yes, this all looks good. So we're definitely going to want to get those frigates upgrading. We'll get that underway immediately. These guys, they're not done upgrading just yet. They will be very, very shortly. So we're just waiting on that to finish up, 98%. Still at 98%. That was exciting. We're definitely auto-saving here. What are we upgrading right now? Ah, it's these 2 battleships. Okay, that's going to take a little while. Noted.
Construction complete.
So the Agendis starbase has finished its construction queue. Cool. That's not actually a starbase. I do want to hop down and work on some of these starbases, though. That's going to be Valonis Station down over here, and let's get a couple of ancient ramparts going in.
Our fleet is prepared to bring the heat.
So that's all of our starbases kind of ready to go. Some of them are lacking in ancient ramparts, and I do want to get some of those ancient ramparts going in. So as we go through some of these bastions up here, we're going to want to replace, like, here with ancient ramparts. So overall, this is what, 45 times 6 minor artifacts to get that transferred over. Obviously, we don't have what we need right now. And the question is, do we want to do that before or after we build defense platforms? Well, building fleets is definitely a higher priority than defense platforms, so I think for now it's okay. We're going to need minor artifacts for what? What ship is still using minor artifacts? You're talking defense platforms? Because I don't see any other ships using minor artifacts here. I don't think this is accurate. Okay. So, the sleepers are awakening up over here. Giants in the playground, or decrepit fools. We're gonna go with decrepit fools. Honestly, they're a little late with this, but we will fight for our right to exist. They don't care about us saying that, but we will fight for our right to exist. So that seems fine. And we'll fight for our right to turn your worlds into volcanoes as well. That is our right. As everyone knows. That's just indisputable at this point. So how are we doing on our Galactic Crucible here? Well, it's 50% done. Okay. So let's see what our economy shifts like once we start to actually become the crisis and what we unlock. That'll be very interesting, but we're fairly prepared for it at this point, and things are absolutely going to start to pivot. So we're going to need to repair, or rather upgrade this again, because we need to get some of those frigates upgraded to latest spec. There we go, and we've got more of this underway. So that's only 4% done. This is 42% done. That's going to take time. So I want to come down over this direction and continue to work for now on getting some of these bastions changed over. So we're looking at locations like this. We're going to get these swapped over to ancient ramparts. We can only make 3 for right now, but that seems okay. Now, of course, we can go spend our influence, and so we shall. That'll be a habitation module here and here, and then we can get an additional one over here at Tanafir. So if we look in at what this is a research world. Our next highest production here is trade. So I'm going to put in a Giga Mall, and then we're going to put in a habitation module, but that's all we can do for the time being. Now, as you can see, we are currently over our fleet limit, our naval capacity. I'm not terribly concerned about that right now. We do have 2 fortress worlds that have a lot of expandability, but for the moment, they're growing kind of slowly, and we would definitely like them to get a little bit more population-wise. But a number of these worlds are going to be approaching their peak soon, and we'll start pumping pops to other worlds. And that's exactly what we're looking for at this moment. So that looks good. Our fleet upgrades are coming along nicely. I think they're done at this point. Yes, but we do need to upgrade a couple more frigates here and a couple more frigates here. So we'll get that underway, and we're full on minerals again, selling off some of those. I'm going to use our trade to buy in what alloys we can, because we're going to need what alloys we can get. What else are we looking for here? The collective self is potentially interesting. Energy siphons. Damage to rivals is interesting. We could definitely take that. And then, of course, coming down over here once again, I want to start working on Fulu Station because we can put an additional set of ancient ramparts over here. That's now fully converted. So we've got 2 more to do, these 2. Everything else should be good to go. So these are the only 2 defensive stations that we should need to convert. So that means the total number of minor artifacts that we need for that should be 45 times 12. And if I pull up a calculator here, it became a slightly awkward size because of my tiling, but here we go. I've resized it, so that's going to be 45 times 12. That's 540 minor artifacts is what we need to get this done. Okay, that's fine. Shouldn't take that long, really. And then we can start banking the minor artifacts because we're going to need to start getting defense platforms going. So these guys are apparently guardians of the galaxy. Okay. So presumably we do not need them. In fact, we think that they might be trying to guard the galaxy from us. I'm wondering if they're going to have a second sleeper awaken. That's usually how this goes, and then they go to war. But for right now, it is about time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to get our last couple of stations converting over. We're going to get our fleets fully replenished and start working on our naval capacity. That will definitely be a thing that we need to do. Swarmer missiles are potentially interesting. We don't need the L-Gate insights. Swarmer missiles are potentially interesting. We'll grab that. But as I said, time to put a cut in here. Next episode, I'm going to work a little bit on our consumer goods, but mostly the plan for that is to have these worlds be a mix between fortresses and consumer goods production. So for now, that's the overall idea. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Thilo K, The Omniscient, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Punching the Microphone, Nick Smarty, The Lounge STL, Spock, Moonfall, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.